Okay, so to finish up this shallow mossy undergrowth on this miniature, I'm going to use dry brushing techniques to bring out the details and the foam patch that we added to this base. And remember, we did a dark green ink. Really, it was a green ink mixed with some black ink to give us this very deep shade here. The idea being is that that is the roots and the darker lower part of the material down here. We need to bring out some details though to give this a little depth and to make it look nice. I'm going to use two colors since we've got a dark green base coat. Two should do. They're from the Reaper Master Series high density paints, and I'm going to use for my first shade a field gray, and then for my second shade, which would be the highest shade, I'm going to use meadow green. So again, I'm going to be doing get my paint ready off screen here a little bit, but that doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to get these need a good shaking, excuse me. So I'm going to start with my field gray. Any other kind of medium gray would do. It doesn't matter if you're copying these exact hues that I'm using. You want a medium gray and kind of a light or mossy, medium green, sorry, and a light or mossy green. So I got my dry brush. Of course, with dry brushing, you want to get paint on your brush and then get it off, rub it against a paper towel or whatnot until you have a little pigment left on your brush. And I'm going to start, see if I can do this on camera effectively for you. I'm going to start going over those patches and bringing out some of the details. Now this is not going to be very visible on camera because this first level of highlighting is subtle. Alright, it's really just to begin to add depth to this patch. It's really the second shade, the later shade, the meadow green, that's going to pull out the details in this. So again, dry brushing, I just draw it across the surface of the foam. Hopefully you can make out there that we're getting a little bit change in color. I can see it clearly here. Whether or not you can see it on camera, I'm not sure. We'll do some photos at the end and that'll make sure you can see things. So there he is with the first highlighting. You know what I can do is a little bit more of that shade. I get a little more vigorous in there just to pick up more of that pigment on the surface. Now you might go over the side of your painted base here. That can always be touched up with a little black paint, no big problem. Now I'm going to go to the higher highlight, the second and final highlight, my meadow green. Just taking up my paint, getting that ready off screen. Okay, I can use the same brush that I just used to dry brush the other one on. When you're dry brushing, you can do that. You don't want to go clean your dry brush and then go to your next color, because then it's going to be wet and that's going to ruin the effect. So keep your brush dry. I'm loading the new paint on it now, rubbing some of the pigment off. And now I'm going to go in there again on that base and start to bring out some of the details and that foam. Now what you might find when you're doing that final highlight is that it's just not picking up enough depth for you. And if that happens, go a little bit heavier with the paint on your brush. When you go to wipe the paint off your brush, getting ready to dry brush, leave a little bit extra on so the foam picks it up. Now as I finish this up, see I just went on the base there a little bit, no problem, I'll touch that up afterwards. As I finish this up, I'm going to mention that one thing you can do is go in with a very fine brush and put some dot of like yellow or pink or blue or white dots on here to make it flowering foliage, which is entirely fine. So that's my finished moss patches there. It's kind of a dark deep green. I want something a little different looking, and that's fine. You can do something more muted certainly. I'm going to do one more pass of that meadow green just to lighten it up a little bit. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so that's Ragman with his shallow foam foliage base made from blister foam, and the finished effect is that we've got our decaying road with some dirt over that, over time, the road's been covered, and then we got some mossy growth on top of that. So there he is. I'll touch up that base. I'll take some pictures for you and put them at the end here. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on shallow foam undergrowth, moss. Have a great day. Happy wargaming, everybody. This is Garrison signing off for Iron Kingdoms at War.